So, after the initial excitement of winning the bid to host the 2022 World Cup, the government of Qatar realized that they had to put up 7 new stadiums in the short time which FIFA had given them. That led to the whole of the country being plunged into a kind of horrid state where there were so many stadiums, of course, to be constructed. There were hotels, there were road networks, even the metro was still being put up by that time. This led to construction jobs being widely available for mostly anyone to do. So most of the people who were going in for these jobs, they realized that to have an edge over these construction jobs which were available, they had to do, some sort of preliminary training. That's what we're going to be talking about today, guys. These training programs which, are available here in Qatar, I think you might have come across 1 or 2 of them. There are some people or institutions or establishments that encourage people to come and do some of this training program. And in many fields, not only in construction, we have them in fields like healthcare and nursing. We have them also obviously in the hospitality department. How relevant are these training programs, which are often costly, if I would say that? How relevant are they to getting you to your next job? That's what we'll be talking all about today. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sona, this is Middle Eastern. So like I mentioned before in the intro, we're going to be talking about training programs which are offered here in Qatar and what you should do about it. How relevant are they to helping you get your next job? Now guys, there's one thing which you really have to understand. A training program or a learning program or whatever you want to call it, that's just what it is. It is a training program. It's not a prerequisite for you to have before you. Yes, it definitely helps you, gain much needed experience and most especially the certification which most of these establishments usually provide. We have examples like from the Icons Training Center that they do a very great job at, impacting you some level of skill in the particular field which you want to go in for. That will greatly help your chances in the job market. But the thing is that they don't actually link you to any direct employer. It's not like, okay, after you've done the training program, you have the certificate. Then from that time, you just start being called by employers. No, guys, you are still being put into the pool of job seekers here in the country, but you have a slight edge because let's say you're called for an interview, at least with that extra credential from the certification, it can get you a foot in the door. But it doesn't mean that having that certification is a criteria for being hired in this country. There are so many situations where people have been hired for a job without doing any training program, just having that prior experience or no experience at all. And there are so many other situations that, this training program have given people the edge to get hired for the particular position in which they're going in for. So guys, to break it down, there are some sectors or there are some industries, if I can put it that way, that I could say are advantageous for you to do this training program in, and there are some which completely make no sense, if I can be honest with you. If you're going in for jobs which require very high level of technicality, like lifting supervisors, the health and safety managers, like all of these jobs which are mostly based in the construction or oil and gas, those ones definitely, I would say that yes, you cannot have no skill or no prior experience and you just hope to get a job in that sector. No, because these are technical jobs which usually involve contracts of hundreds if not millions of Qatari riyals. So you have to really be qualified before you can do such a job. So if you are interested in taking a training program for that particular job, yes, I would highly advise you to go for it. There are many centers here in Qatar that provide excellent service, and actually they give you an internationally recognized certificate. For example, if you are doing a NEBOSH, you get an internationally recognized certificate which will be provided to you, and at least that will give you some sort of credential, and at least that will give you some sort of an upper hand for you to get a job as a safety manager, here in this country. So guys, there are other technical fields like healthcare. There are, your accountants, all of these jobs which require some level of technicality before you can able to do them. So if you are taking a training program for that, it should be worth it, guys, because these training programs are usually costly. They are not cheap. I'll use the example of the NEBOSH. From the findings I did, I'm going to put some links to the NEBOSH down below. From the findings I did, it will cost you about 2,800 to 3,500 Qatari riyals to enroll for the program, and the duration from start to finish is about 15 to 20 weeks, guys. So depending on the time which you have for this training program, it can really take you a lot of time and a lot of money to complete the program. And like I said, remember, don't go into these programs thinking that immediately you finish the program you'll be called somewhere for a job, guys. You still have to put in the work to actually try to get a job after completing the program. So guys, having said that, there are some of the training programs which literally make no sense. At least that's from my own opinion, because why I say they make no sense, because most of the things which you supposedly learn there are things which on your own, or if you talk to someone who is already doing that job, you can get a first-hand experience. You don't need to go spend time and money trying to learn. So prime examples of these categories which I'm talking about, you have your receptionists, your waiters, your front desk managers. No disrespect to anyone who is doing a training program for that, but guys, believe me, they are not usually worth it, because this type of jobs are jobs which, yes, you need to have some level of experience in before you can effectively do them well. But there are also many companies, many restaurants, many hotels that are just opening, or they need a junior staff for that position. So they themselves will definitely provide you the necessary training to get you up to speed for that position. It's definitely not worth doing a training program for a front desk manager or a receptionist, or even a call center agent, guys. Those type of things are things which you can go online, maybe on YouTube or anywhere, and get the basic knowledge on how to go about them. Or you can speak to someone, like I said, who is already doing the job. If you don't, you can just meet someone who you might know that is doing this particular type of job. Then you get some level of information from them. Now guys, for the final category which I'm going to be talking about, there are categories which it could go either way. If you decide to do a training program on them, cool. But this particular categories too, you could definitely still have a job on them or with them without doing a training program. You have your baristas, you have your gym attendants, you have your fitness trainers. Those type of jobs, they usually hire junior assistants, and from there you can start working up your ladder, priming your skills to get more experience in this particular type of jobs. You definitely don't need a training program to do them. Yes, for the barista, I would say, handling coffee and everything, you might need some level of training if you know nothing about that field, to at least get you up to speed on, some of the things which might be asked of you in a potential interview. But what I would instead recommend is that if you have no experience and you're going in for a barista, maybe you can look for a position as a junior barista, and from there you can learn from the other barista who will likely be already on the shift. Then you can prime up your skills rather than going to pay upwards of almost 1,000 Qatari riyals to 2,000 Qatari riyals to learn. And when you get to a potential job, you don't still have the experience, because the training program will just give you the know-how, but will not give you the field experience on how to handle, the day-to-day in and outs of the jobs. So guys, that'll be all for me today. Thank you so much for watching. Please do like, subscribe, and drop a comment below on a potential training program which you think makes sense to follow in this country. Maybe you have done a training program for driving. There's so many that I could mention, but just let me know, guys, which ones do you think that are worth doing, are worth paying for, and which ones make absolutely no sense to pay for. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.